This is the Kickback off air. Yo, it's Jazzy Black. I'm super excited to be kicking back with a really dope artist I got a chance to meet at the South Dallas Cultural Center. He goes by the name of Reuben Cheatem, and boy, does he have a story to tell. Welcome to 97.9 The Beat.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so appreciative of you having me with you all.
So when I got a chance to meet you at the South Dallas Cultural Center, you have your series there. It's called Healed. And what does that stand for again?
So it's an acronym that means hope, encouragement, and love evaded darkness. It goes through the journey of my cancer treatment, essentially chemotherapy, which was about 2 years ago.
Wow. And you are cancer-free now, right?
Dundee. Good.
Amen to that. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Take us back through whenever you found out about the diagnosis. What was it that you noticed within your body, or did you just do like a regular routine check?
So let me say this, because as a black man, I was one of those like, oh, I'm good. I'm not going to no doctor. I don't want to act like I was on time and I didn't wait longer than I should have.
Yeah.
But it started back in May of 2022. My wife and I had taken a trip back to New Orleans where we used to live, and I thought I had gotten food poisoning. But the symptoms, the pain and all that lasted for like 3 weeks. So obviously that wasn't, obviously it wasn't food poisoning. So we start, getting checked up and things like that. And initially I was diagnosed with diverticulitis, which is just an inflammation. Basically it's just kind of like an irritability in my colon. Was a misdiagnosis, which I later found out. So that was May. I got treated for that, which was just antibiotics and like pain medication and things like that. And I felt better. I was feeling good until like September, and then the symptoms start coming back.
Oh my goodness.
And so I kind of tried to go down the same path of treatment, and it just wasn't working. So I was just in unnecessary agony for way longer than I should have been.
Goodness.
And so like finally in the fourth trip to the ER and like my fourth CT scan, a specialist who ended up being my surgeon came and saw the scans, and she was the one that realized it was a tumor and not inflammation. So she set me on the path to get the tumor removed. I was in the hospital for 9 days. Finally, after the surgery, they had to test the tumor, and that's when the cancer diagnosis came. But I had just crossed the threshold between stage 2 and stage 3.
Wow.
Stage 2 would have just been chemotherapy. I'm sorry. Stage 2 would have just been the surgery, the removal of the
tumor.
The tumor, correct. And so, since I had crossed that threshold, that's why I was that's why I was prescribed chemotherapy. And since I thought it was kind of just like a just in case thing, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be easy. They're gonna give me like the minimum dosage. I'm gonna be good. No, I did the full 6 months, 12 sessions, all of the medication, and let me say it was rough.
And for people that might not have known, you would think that even in 2025, that maybe everybody might have had some experience with somebody close to them that has been diagnosed with cancer. But talk about the weight of going through chemotherapy and what it does to your body physically and even mentally, because it drains you, and people don't think about how much time it takes. How long do chemotherapy sessions usually last when you go in there?
So, well, let me say this first. My only impression of chemotherapy was how it's portrayed on TV.
Right.
So I really had no idea. I just thought people are sick in the bed. I didn't know anything beyond that.
Right.
So I had 12 sessions that were every other week for 6 months. So there's an infusion that you get in the office, which lasts for about 5 or 6 hours. And then there was this ball of medication that was connected to a tube that went into my heart that I wore home from that and slept in it, slept with that on and everything for 3 days. If anyone sees my exhibition, there's actually some photographs of that, and I kind of talk about the process a little bit. And so that lasted for 3 days. I got it removed, and then I was off for the rest of that week, and then the next week, and then I went back and repeated that on the third week. So it was every other week that I had the infusions.
That's pretty disruptive to like your daily life.
Yeah. So at first, the off weeks actually felt like off weeks. You know, it took me a couple of days after the infusions to kind of get back to myself. And then by that off week, I was decent. You know, the side effects were mostly going away.
Yeah.
So up until about maybe the 5th or 6th out of 12 infusions, you know, I was actually getting those off weeks. But after a while, it was just like, I was just sick. You know, it wasn't receding or anything like that. Like the side effects were what they were.
Yeah. So mentally and like spiritually, what was that journey like for you, and like what gave you strength like during those tough moments?
You know, I really I relearned the power of words. Specifically, like my third treatment, I was going to the nurse's office, and I woke up and I was just like feeling down and dark. Like, oh man, I hate this place. You know, just everything about it, the sounds, the smells, you know, the beeping machines and all that.
The lights, everything.
Yeah. And so I got a call from a cousin of mine on that morning, and he was just calling to like check in. Like, now we didn't talk on the phone very often. It just happened that, you know, we just happened to talk that day. He called me that morning. And just like totally lifted my spirit, and I never got back to that negative energy. So that could have just like defined the whole experience of my treatment, you know, that darkness. But after that phone call, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. And I just powered through.
Yeah.
And like, I always had my wife with me. Like, she was able to balance her schedule and things, and so she could be at every appointment. And so just having that road dog with me, just like, you know, she was just.
And I was going to ask you about that, just having that support system and, you know, the importance of having somebody that's in your corner just to like keep you lifted, especially in those moments, in those times where you just like, I don't have it today.
Right. And she understood, because, you know, sometimes I might get a little snippy and things like that, you know, but she understood what I was going through in the moments when I might have got a little sharp.
I know that's right. Come on, wifey. What would you say to someone that maybe doesn't have that support system? We have people that be listening from all walks of life, and they could be going through, you know, all kinds of things, maybe not even, you know, as intense as going through a cancer diagnosis, but still life is just life for everybody right now.
There's always someone you can talk to.
Yeah.
There's someone that's been in that situation, or someone who can relate to that situation. There's always an open ear. And you know, one thing I try to stress, especially with this current exhibition that I have, is you don't have to be an artist to tell your story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value that comes with sharing your experience, and both for the catharsis within yourself and to help someone else out. So like, just, there's always someone that you can talk to.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, with this whole situation, you've turned something that's incredibly difficult into something beautiful through your art. So just talk to me about how painting just kind of helped you heal through this journey, and how you even found the strength to go back and pick up a brush and continue doing what you love to do.
So the crazy thing is, when I look back on the chemotherapy and cancer experience, it's almost like I don't feel it in my body. So people ask me, so what was it like reflecting on those situations? Like, it wasn't hard. You know, I have the memories, but I don't have the like sentimental record in my body from it. So being able to, well, let me say this. The majority of the exhibition was done post-treatment. So it's been mostly retrospective.
Yeah.
And the healing that comes out of that is just knowing that I'm being vulnerable, and the value in that. because like when I was going through treatment, I was posting a lot on my social media and whatnot, just, you know, the ups and downs, and I was getting a lot of positive feedback from that. So I just knew that it was something that I had to make a whole exhibition of.
Yeah. And how long had you been doing artwork? Like, when did you first start your art journey?
So I've been an artist my whole life.
That's cool.
Yeah, my mom was an artist, so it's all I've ever known. You know, I wasn't one of those kids that was like, you know, I want to be a cowboy, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a superhero. Like, being an artist was a superhero to me. Like that's like all I've ever wanted to be.
That's cool.
And no matter how much older I got, where I had to think of, you know, making a living and things like that, it still was always an artist.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like, the evolution of Healed, what was the very first art piece that you made?
So when I first finished chemotherapy, I had a party, I had a celebration, and I had these gold mylar balloons that read "No Mo Chemo," one word.
No Mo Chemo.
Right. And so I crumpled those shiny balloons up, and I posed with them, and then I painted that to imply like a gift being unwrapped. So I use that like shiny paper to say that like I'm renewed and I'm back.
Come on.
So yeah, so that was the first painting that I did. And at that time I really didn't know that I wanted to make a whole exhibition. I just had that idea for that painting, and the whole thing just kind of grew out of that. And you know, after I don't know, 1 or 2 paintings with the same thing, I was like, you know what? I just need to keep expanding. And so it's up to 20 paintings now.
That's so
22
cool.
paintings in the exhibition.
And I noticed whenever I was walking through, you use certain colors, certain styles. So like when you think about like the theme that you wanted to go through that you wanted to bring to Healed.
So when I mention cancer, you know, cancer is a dark, dirty, scary word.
Yeah.
And so I wanted people visually to step in the room and not feel like that. So I wanted them to walk into the room and see the bright colors and, you know, feel the like vibrance, and then kind of dig into the story, because every painting on the wall is accompanied with a narrative for where that idea came from for that specific piece. And so once people dig into the reading, then they start getting the connection to because there's a painting of candy in there, you know, there's a painting that's just limes and lemons and limes and green grapes, and there's a lot of like figurative work in there that doesn't visually imply cancer. So I wanted people to just like, yeah, this is just beautiful artwork, and then dig in.
Right. No, and I felt that when I was walking through, I was like taking my time and, you know, reading the excerpts that you had next to them. So that's why afterward I walked up and I was like, wow, look at you. Like you are giving so much life just with your presence alone. So that's super cool. And I think that's why I was super excited to bring you in here, because I'm like, man, this is something that people need to go in and just remind themselves that, you know, life is not over. Life is really just beginning wherever you are, whatever you're going through.
There's always time. There's always more time.
So, okay, what message do you want to send to others, especially in the Black community, especially our brothers out there that feel like they don't want to go get these colonoscopies? I know the American Cancer Society and a lot of different organizations are pushing people to go and get them around 45 to 50, but we just need to go and get checked up either way. Like,
listen, get your colonoscopies. I just had a colonoscopy yesterday.
Come on.
So, like, go do it. But really, I think, so the minimum age used to be 50.
Okay.
And they just lowered that to 45. But really, there's got to be a way to get in there and figure some things out earlier than that. Because I was 43 when I got my diagnosis.
Wow.
I really should have been more cognizant at least by age 40. So that's but like, as far as to answer your question, definitely don't take anything lightly. Don't self-diagnose.
Right.
Don't be like, well, I don't need to see no doctor for this or that when you're not a doctor.
Come on.
Like, go the slightest thing. Let me say I had blood in my stool. I'm sorry to say that on the radio.
No, you're good. Because we got to be transparent. The people need to know.
People need to understand, because I know it's someone out there hearing this that has seen that.
Right.
And I tried to figure out what was going on within my own mind.
Yeah.
Because I had lived in Mexico for a year and a half. And while I was down there, I got food poisoning a lot. So I was just like, oh, this is probably just something that's carried over from that.
Right.
Something, you know, I'm still healing this and that. How would I know? I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
So, like, don't self-diagnose. Don't wait for pain. Don't wait for your lifestyle to be changed where there's nothing you can do but go see a doctor.
Right.
Like, that's too late. Jump on the first sign. Jump on the first indication that something is not usual.
Right. And I just want to point this out there. So I was like, let me go and really look up and see what exactly does the colon do for people out there that don't know. The colon is a part of your large intestine. It's the last section of your digestive system that absorbs water and electrolytes from waste matter. It forms stool, moves it out of the body. It processes what the small intestine couldn't digest. That's what your colon do.
Preach.
Helps produce certain vitamins, all right, that we need, and stores feces until your bowel movement is ready to do what it needs to do. So you can play with your colon if you want to.
Listen, while we're talking about storage and wait until your bowel is ready, if you play too long, your bowel's not going to be ready. Let me tell you, that was a large part of my healing. It hurt. And when I say I was in the hospital for 9 days, now I'm going to get a little candid at this point.
Yeah.
When I say I was in the hospital for 9 days, that was 9 days of only laxatives.
Oh, my God.
Only 9 days straight.
Reuben.
No food, nothing by mouth, no water, nothing. 9 straight days of laxatives because I was waiting.
So how did they feed you? What they?
Through an IV. I was on an IV for 9 days. Literally, I could not even drink water.
What?
Because that's how backed up I was. Because, like I said earlier, I was waiting for the medication to take its path.
Yeah.
But the medication wasn't the issue. It was a tumor. It was not inflammation.
Wow.
And so, as much as my wife was begging me to get in there and see what was really going on, I was like, just let it work. Just let it work. And so I was like in agony that I didn't need to be in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't be macho.
Come
like
on
there's no need to like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I got this. I can walk it off. I can shake it off. You know what I mean? Like, get on in there and see it. Ask questions.
Right.
It's never, there's nothing, well, let me not say there's nothing that you can learn. Some people are afraid to understand the truth of what's going on in their body. I understand that. But if the delay is going to make your situation worse, then now you've got a double situation on your hands.
That's
instead of just like getting in there and taking action earlier and making the path easier. So,
I know that's right. And look, we need you here. Somebody out there love you and need you here at 100%. So we cannot be wasting time because you scared to know what's going on with your body. For people that want to come out and be inspired, check out your artwork, learn more about your story. Where can they find you on social media first?
So my Instagram is RCHEATEM, cheat, EM. That's my name, R Cheatem, artist.
And is that your real name?
Cheatem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Reuben Cheatem.
That's dope. And then for tonight, information on tonight's reception, do we need to get tickets to come out or like how does that work?
No. Please just come through. You know, the doors are open. The building's open. It's not just for my exhibition. There's other stuff in the South Dallas Cultural Center to check out. You know, that there's a stage in there. I mean, I don't know if there's any other events in the building tonight, but it's still an interesting place for people to come learn about.
It is.
So yeah, 5 to 7 p.m. South Dallas Cultural Center tonight. I will be there. I will be there.
Nice. Before we go, I gotta ask you because we hip hop station. What music, if any, did you listen to while you were going through your treatment? If you can remember anything that like kept you lifted, or what were you listening to?
I'm a jazz and you know, Latin music, kind of samba, salsa, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
But my first ever hip hop influence was Snoop's first tape.
Okay.
I had it bootleg that I got from a gas station in Kansas City. So I rode that tape until it broke.
That's
and then I kind of discovered that I like to sing. So I was like all R&B. So I kind of fell off of the hip hop. But, you know, I was like.
Who from R&B you like?
Back then, I was on like Brian McKnight.
Okay.
You know, everybody who thought they could sing was on some Brian McKnight.
Yeah.
You know, right now I can't really get beyond like 2000. Like all the jams that I listened to when I was in college, that's still what I be on. Like
Right.
Mel LaRose, her first solo,
Nice.
and like Carl Thomas.
Yeah. Summer rain.
There they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's still what I be listening to right now.
That's cool. Oh, that's what you listen to right now too. I know that's right.
When I want
Very
some R&B,
nostalgic.
like I'm more of a, I don't really like to paint to music with lyrics.
Okay.
So I'm mostly just like jazz and like Latin jazz is my preference.
Well, thank you again so much, Reuben.
Thank you.